The radioactive beasts of Pripyat. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a virtual journey to a place that's both eerie and incredibly intriguing, the ghost city of Pripyat. If you haven't heard of it, Pripyat is a city in Ukraine that was evacuated overnight in 1986 due to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Over 35 years later, while the people never returned, nature had other plans. You've probably seen those haunting photos or heard tales about radioactive beasts roaming the deserted streets. Are there really mutated animals with extra limbs or glowing eyes stalking through the overgrown city? Or is it just fiction fueled by our imaginations? Today, we're diving deep into the myths and realities of Pripyat's wildlife. From the actual animals thriving there to the sensational stories that have captured popular imagination, we're here to separate fact from fiction. So get comfy, and let's explore the real story behind Pripyat's so-called radioactive beasts. Trust me, this is one adventure you don't want to miss. The Chernobyl disaster and immediate impact. First, let's set the stage. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant experienced a catastrophic failure during a safety test. Reactor 4 exploded, releasing massive amounts of radioactive materials into the atmosphere. Imagine living in Pripyat, just 3 kilometers away. Initially, residents weren't informed about the severity. Life went on normally for a day. Then, authorities ordered a sudden evacuation. Over 49,000 people left their homes, taking only essentials. Buses filled the streets, and in mere hours, the city was empty. The environmental impact was devastating. Radioactive particles contaminated the air, soil, and water, affecting not just the immediate area but reaching across Europe. The exclusion zone was established, covering about 2,600 square kilometers, deemed uninhabitable for humans for thousands of years. It seemed like nature itself had been dealt a fatal blow. But as time passed, something unexpected began to happen. Nature reclaims the land. With humans gone, nature started to reclaim Pripyat. Sidewalks cracked under the pressure of tree roots, buildings were covered in ivy and moss, and wildlife began venturing into areas once bustling with people. Plants flourished without interference. Trees grew through the floors of abandoned buildings, and wildflowers covered former lawns. The flora adapted to the environment, some even showing resilience to radiation. Animals cautiously returned. Small mammals appeared first, followed by birds nesting in deserted structures. Over time, larger animals like deer and wild boar made the exclusion zone their home. It was as if Pripyat became an unintended experiment in rewilding, a glimpse of nature restoring itself. Myths of mutation. Let's delve into the myths. Pop culture has sensationalized Pripyat, depicting it as a land filled with monstrous mutants. Movies and games feature giant wolves, bizarre creatures, and eerie phenomena. Tales circulate about animals with multiple heads or glowing eyes. These stories captivate our imagination, fueled by the mystery surrounding the restricted area and haunting images of the abandoned city. It's easy for myths to take root when facts are scarce. But how much of this is true? While radiation can cause mutations, the extreme anomalies popularized in media are largely fictional. Time to separate myth from reality. Scientific observations of wildlife. So, what's really happening with the animals in the exclusion zone? Scientists couldn't resist studying this unique environment. Through camera traps and GPS collars, they've discovered the area is actually a hotspot for biodiversity. Wolves, for example, have a population density higher than surrounding areas. Not mutant wolves, but regular ones benefiting from a human-free habitat. Other large mammals like European bison, brown bears, and lynx are thriving. Rare bird species have found sanctuary here. These animals exhibit normal behaviors, hunting, foraging, raising their young. Some even use abandoned buildings for shelter, showcasing remarkable adaptability. The lack of human disturbance has allowed wildlife to flourish. The data shows that while the environment is challenging, it's not the nightmarish landscape of legend. Pripyat has become a haven for wildlife, not a den of mutants. Effects of radiation on fauna. What about radiation's impact on these animals? Radiation can alter DNA, causing mutations that may lead to deformities or health issues. There are documented cases of mutations: birds with albinism, insects with abnormalities. Small mammals show higher mutation rates compared to those outside the zone. However, these don't result in the monstrous forms of myth. Interestingly, many species continue to thrive. Some animals may be developing adaptations, like increased antioxidants in birds to combat radiation effects. Natural selection seems to favor individuals less affected by radiation. Radiation isn't harmless, and long-term effects are still being studied. But the idea of rampant, grotesque mutations doesn't hold up. Life, in many ways, is adapting to the circumstances. The ecosystem without humans. Pripyat offers a unique look at ecosystems without human influence. Predator and prey dynamics have re-established. Apex predators like wolves help control herbivore populations, affecting vegetation growth. Without human activities like agriculture or urban development, wildlife has more space and resources. Waterways are cleaner, forests expand, and habitats are undisturbed. Comparisons with human-populated areas highlight our impact. While wildlife declines elsewhere due to habitat loss, Pripyat shows nature's capacity to recover when left alone. It's an eye-opening example of resilience. Conservation implications. What can we learn from Pripyat's unexpected transformation? It challenges our assumptions about ecosystem recovery and human impact. The exclusion zone acts as a de facto wildlife sanctuary. Conservationists see it as a case study in rewilding. Understanding how ecosystems function without us can guide strategies for protecting species and habitats globally. Challenges remain. Radiation poses risks, and long-term effects are uncertain. Unauthorized access leads to poaching and habitat disturbance. Balancing interest in the area with environmental protection is crucial. International collaborations aim to study and preserve this unique ecosystem. Pripyat provides valuable insights into resilience, adaptation, and the complex relationship between humans and nature. In conclusion, the story of Pripyat and its radioactive beasts is a blend of tragedy and hope. The Chernobyl disaster was catastrophic, but the aftermath reveals nature's remarkable adaptability. Rather than a land of monsters, Pripyat has become a sanctuary where wildlife thrives despite the challenges. It's a paradox. A place uninhabitable for humans becomes a haven for nature. This doesn't minimize the disaster's impact but offers a new perspective on our interaction with the environment. Perhaps Pripyat reminds us of the potential for nature to heal if given the chance. Continued research and responsible management are vital. And maybe, just maybe, we can learn to coexist more harmoniously with the natural world. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of Pripyat's wild side. If you found this video intriguing, please give it a thumbs up and share it. It really helps the channel. What do you think about nature's resilience in Pripyat? Should we consider stepping back in other areas to let ecosystems recover? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more adventures. Until next time, stay curious. A huge thank you to the scientists and researchers working in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Their efforts help us understand this unique ecosystem. I've included links to studies and resources in the description if you want to learn more. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. You make this possible.